Hello Stage Fam, it's me Aaron James and I'm here with a video all about the Broadway show Here Lies Love. So we went to see the show 2 times on Broadway, once doing the standing experience and once doing the seated experience. So this video will take you on a journey with me, Mickey and our friend Ashley as we go to the standing version of the show. Most of the stuff that we're going to say on here is also applicable for the seating. The big difference is if you're seating you can have drinks throughout the show, if you're standing you cannot. For seated, you get your playbill when you arrive. For standing, you get it at the end of the show. That's the big major differences. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk a bit about both, seeing as we did both, and maybe a recommendation that we have if you're planning to see the show. So, on we go with a video to past Aaron outside the Broadway Theatre. And here is the marquee.
It's not the marquee, it's the Broadway.
It's the Broadway Theatre. On Broadway. All the prod shots. David Byrne, Fatboy Slim, Annie B. Parson and Alex Timbers. So advice we've been told is to get here early for this show if you're standing. We're standing and sitting, so we are already in the queue, ready. We came here an hour before the show starts.
Yes, and they take all your bags, so don't bring any big bags unless you want to give them a coat check. And no drinks on the floor. So if you want a cocktail, come early if you want a floor cocktail.
If anyone's curious, the time is 6:18 ahead of the 7 p.m. show, and they have just opened the house to let us in.
And we're in. We're going through. Lovely aircon. Oh, the aircon. Look at those lights. Pink, pink, pink. This is pink. Oh, I'm loving the chandeliers. And we can already hear the music playing. There are fans that go in. Then drinks. And oh, there's a historical overview. So I'm gathering this tells you all about the history. Oh, it does. It tells you the whole history of Here Lies Love. So this is handy to know what's going on in the show because we've been told that it's sung through. Love this display. It reminds me a lot of the New World stages, how they do the different screens.
This is a fun way of pre-show history.
I feel like more shows should do this.
Yeah.
There's even more down here. Full gallery the whole way around. McDonald's disco ball. All those flavours. Dusted with edible glitter. You're gonna sparkle. So many drinks. So many drinks. These sound quite fun. Quite like the sound of that one. Which one shall we get? This is the important thing to note. No drinks or snacks permitted on the floor or to floor side seats. So we've got to drink it before we go in.
So let me talk you through this drinks menu. We have the Jameson Sweet Tea, which has Jameson Whiskey, Peach Schnapps, Sour Mix and Lemon Lime Soda. The Don's Disco Ball, which has Don Pepper Rum, Cranberry Juice, Triple Sec Lime Juice, and is dusted with edible glitter. That's showmanship right there. The My First Love, which has Malibu, Blue Curacao, Pineapple Juice and Club Soda. Look, you can see Aaron in the reflection. The Rise Up sounds nice, if a little bit dangerous, with tequila, orange juice, Prosecco and grenadine. The Disco Peach Pop, also delicious. Peach Vodka, Peach Schnapps, Prosecco, Lemon Lime Soda. The Opposites Attract Sangria. I haven't seen many sangrias in Broadway drinks menus, but this has red wine, rum, Triple Sec, orange juice, lemon lime juice, grenadine and club soda. The Kahlua Martini Spritz has Kahlua vodka and club soda. And finally the Studio 54 Fizz, named for a venue we are not in right now but is a venue on Broadway, has amaretto, lemonade and club soda. Which would you choose? Which will we choose? Worth noting as well, this is a one-act show, there's no intermission, so if you are buying drinks before the show, they are not permitted on the floor or the to-floor side seats. So you've got to finish them before you go into the auditorium on the floor level if you are standing. So I'm drinking the Disco Peach Pop in Here Lies Love cup. It's very nice. You can taste the Prosecco. I kind of wish the peach came through a little bit more. It's nice though, it's nice.
There's Mickey filming. We're dual filming today. So I'm going to try and do a little bit more so you get a more full picture of it. And here's the gallery of the different artwork. And each one has a description of what the picture is of. So this is Imelda's diorama 1, Childhood in Manila, 1930s. Imelda with her parents and a housekeeper. And you have the diorama 2, so these are all the different dioramas all the way around, which then goes through the history of Imelda. There's merch all around. T-shirts, bucket hats, they have pins, there's a fan, there's magnets, the book, it's all here. It's a full range and I have seen loads of people wearing this. And of course Mickey is obsessed with the bucket hat, which is the one version there, the one version over there. Well, it reverses into the two, you get my drift. But there's mugs. There's an album by Lea Salonga. Lea's no longer in the show, but she opened the show in a role.
Personal faves in this merchandise, the bag is very shiny. I like the t-shirt designs. I'd probably get the purple one myself, even though that burgundy is so my colour. But it's all about the bucket hat. Where is it? There it is. Love a bucket hat. I'm wearing one right now. So here are the prices for the merchandise at Here Lies Love. You can get a logo tee for $35, a collage tee for the same price, a hoodie for $75, a magnet is $10, a pin set is $20, a window card is $20, limited edition poster for the same price, a fan and a mug will set you back $25, the bucket hat, very important, is $30, so is a tote bag, a Lea Salonga CD is $40 unless it's signed, in which case it's $80, the book is $45, the album is $75.
Here we are. Mickey's now checking his bag in over there. And here we go. We just had to show our tickets to show where we're going, and we go round here. It says enter. And in we go. Wow. Okay, this is so cool. We are on the floor in the Broadway Theatre. That's where the seats are up there. This is the floor.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
This is insane. Literally insane what they're doing in this theatre. Wow. Wow.
We're discovering this show for the first time as well, but the advice we've been given is to stand on this side in the middle of the disco ball and to go in aisle 3. So that's the mezzanine. So as you look at the stage, we are on the right-hand side of the central disco ball square. So you can see the bulk of the seating up there, what used to be the mezzanine, I guess, and then there's also seating that wraps around the sides here. Nothing on that back wall, but then more on this side here, going back around to the mezzanine. This is absolutely nuts.
Mickey's probably telling you this, but there's supposed to be this stage in the middle, and there's a stage over there, and there's a staging here, and then there is where the seating is. I am so overwhelmed right now by the fact that this, you can see where the original chandelier and everything was there in the roof, but then to see all of this space here and how they've transformed it, it's just fascinating to me. So they've managed to do all of this and to get these projection designs. I feel like this is definitely going to be a running entrant for best set design. And there's the DJ doing that thing. This is so cool. Sorry, I'm just really overwhelmed. I said that probably a lot. I mean, look up here, the lighting design. It's crazy. I feel like Guys and Dolls in London is probably our equivalent to this madness, this amazingness of a design. There we go. You can just tell how much money has been spent to get all of this reggae in. So cool. And the projection design is so well done. It's so clear. I think there's so many musicals I go to nowadays where the projections are a great idea, but they're just not crisp. So seeing how crisp these are is just phenomenal. To say that it's on so many different sides. And that's the Millennium Club logo.
That's where we are.
That's where we're meant to be right now.
We're suspending disbelief.
Yeah, so we're meant to be in the Millennium Club, so that's a sign for it.
Yeah.
Here Lies Love, and this is today's cast. And we are heading up into the mezzanine to see Here Lies Love in the standing seats today. Ah, they have screens up here, so I think that's probably to help see the things that are down below. This is our view from the seatings. We're in the mezzanine C102 and 104. We were down there by the disco ball the last time we saw it, and now we're up here. It's very fun. You can see kind of how busy the floor is. Another big difference is if you're seated, you get your playbills before the show begins, so you can get your playbill shot. If you're down there in the standing, in the dance segment on the dance floor, you will not get your playbill until after the show, where you can collect it from one of the staff. That's probably one of the big differences. You can see how far this comes back, and my gorgeous chandelier is hidden behind the lighting room. We fully know understand what our friend said about how far back the mezzanine is. So I can't believe it. This was still this far back when it was a normal playing theatre. It's such a long way back. Mickey just pointed out, you can see where the proscenium was there. So it wasn't crazy far back, but it just feels like it was because of how now this is set up. You can tell that when you were where we were when we started, we were technically on the stage of the theatre. So, Here Lies Love. Hello, this is future Aaron again, or current present Aaron, but will technically be past Aaron by the time that you watch it. Anyhow, you get my drift. So, Here Lies Love, we got to see it twice. So we did it the way around. The experience you just saw was our first time seeing the show. So we did standing first and then seated. But all of our friends said that really they would recommend that you do seating first and then standing if you're able to see it twice. So. And I would technically agree, because I feel like when we were sat, we got a much better understanding of the show itself, because you get to see the projection design and everything that's happening on the stage as you're watching. There are performers around you when you're up in the mezzanine, but most of the show is in front of you that you're watching. You're getting to see kind of the depth and maybe how the creative team devised this show. You have Imelda right up against the mezzanine, and then behind everything that's happening with the citizens of the Philippines, and I don't think you fully get that when you're standing. When we were standing, it's such, as you can tell, it's such a full experience, and you get to dance and you get to feel fully immersed in this show, which was incredible, and I was so overwhelmed, as you can probably tell in the video, from that experience. But I don't feel like I left going, oh, this show, like, it has so much depth, it tells such a great story, and like it does such a good job of conveying this, and I want to tell everybody about it, because I think it's more, you intake more of the experience, and you're thinking about moving around and where you are, you get more of the music and partying, whereas then when we were sitting, I fully understood the lyrics, and it made me fully get immersed more in just the storytelling and understanding what the added emotion, the sadness, the tragicness about parts of it, the kind of the arc of Imelda, and it fully got through to me that this was very, very clever, and what the music actually does, because it's mainly sung through, but that I think I really missed when I was standing. But the experience of standing is something that I have to recommend, because I loved it. So I think if you're planning to see the show once, I would really recommend that you watch it sitting in the front mezzanine, because I think that will give you the best experience of the musical. If you're looking more for an experience on Broadway that you'll never forget, then I would say go for the standing, because currently there isn't a show on Broadway that will be like that until maybe if Guys and Dolls goes to New York, or a similar kind of show, and maybe Cabaret when it arrives is going to be as kind of different. But currently Here Lies Love is by far the most unique show on Broadway if you're looking for more just a different experience, the story and fully taking that part. Then I say go for the seating, go for the standing, because you'll have a party. I would definitely recommend it with a group, because I feel like if you're not great with, if you're a bit claustrophobic or anything like that, it's better with a group, because then you will stay together. Just be aware that you will be moving around in a circle, so you'll need to keep an eye on the people you're with. You can't kind of assume that you'll definitely stay together, because you might not, as you rotate basically all the front of house team, who will be in pink jumpsuits, will tell you when you're moving around and will show you around. Very similar to what happens at Guys and Dolls in London, where it's the front of house stage management's job to keep that standing audience knowing where they're going and to keep everybody safe, and they did an absolutely fab job of that when we were standing, and we could tell they were doing the same when we were seated. It was also just so nice to see a Broadway musical that is talking about different cultures around the world and bringing light to different stories, because I don't think we have this enough, where different cultures are fully embraced and told on Broadway or in the West End. I think a lot of the time we don't learn about different countries or bring in or infuse different musical sounds to work for Broadway, to work for musical theatre, and it's made me really happy to see that this show, and it's had such a long development process. Like, this show has existed for probably near a decade now, but to see this show with an all-Filipino cast bring so many Broadway debuts, but also stories and making people want to learn more about the topics and the culture, etc., that you learn from this show. It was great as well to notice how many people knew the music so well. There was a lot of people that I could tell were big super fans for this show. If there's a negative about the experience of the show, if you're standing, particularly from what you could see, is the fact that you have to have your beverages and drink them before the show to then go in. In the West End for like Guys and Dolls, there's an interval, but also you can take anything with you into the auditorium except for bag checked, the same as with Here Lies Love. But beverages, etc., there's not this specific, you cannot bring them in. And I think that because it's such a party atmosphere, the vibes sometimes don't feel like the same, and I wonder if that's stopping people from maybe going for the standing experience as much, because you're in kind of that space for that period of time walking around. It's just a lot of humans that maybe don't have that comfort. I'm not sure. Because everybody then drinks before they go in it's not really reducing the amount of maybe alcohol that everybody has. I can only think it's because of any spillages, etc., which is also, I think, less of an issue on Broadway because you don't have glass. It's all plastic. So I'm intrigued what people think about that. I just wonder if that's a factor that's not helping the show as much. It just was interesting to see, I guess, because right before we'd gone to Broadway, the first time that we went, we did Guys and Dolls, and it was very interesting to see how different some of the different elements of the experience might affect how people are feeling around them. But I hope you enjoyed this video of our trip for the standing experience of Here Lies Love, and for the seating experience. The big notes that I can say is that you still get a lot of that immersion as well, especially if you're in the front of the mezzanine like we were, because the cast members come up onto the gangway at the front and get you up and dancing, and you're still you don't feel like you're not involved in the show if you're upstairs, which I think you do feel more in Guys and Dolls if you're seating. I think they've done a really good job of making the seated experience at Here Lies Love still feel like you're part of this show and you're not separate from the standing, but you're still immersed in the show. And I think you get a better experience of the narrative and the storytelling from upstairs too, which is why I'd say if you are only going for one trip, I would say seated is the best experience first for Here Lies Love. So if you enjoyed this video, comment below, let me know if you've seen the show on Broadway or have you seen it before in a different guise when it was in London at the National Theatre or Off-Broadway. I'd love to hear your views on how it was then or how it is now. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, it really means a lot. And to have so many stagey people here. And if you want to find out more about our experience in New York, my lovely stagey fiance Mickey Jo has been putting up the bigger videos which show you everything else we did apart from the shows. And then I have more videos of our show experiences both in New York and here. I'm kind of flitting between as we're now seeing shows again in the UK, so there is a big mix of shows, so apologies it's not chronological, but I hope you're enjoying. Lovely to talk to you all, and I hope you have a stagey and magical and stagey rest of your day. Bye.